All right, welcome everyone. Um, okay, so a couple things I quickly wanted to touch on that I didn't explicitly go through, and my apologies for that, but moving forward, this is the way that I want you guys to kind of think through, like whenever a new application is given to you, this is kind of what I want you guys to sort of do. Oh shucks, where did my browser go? Oh, sorry. There you go. So I'm gonna pull up the repo. So is let's do the golf tournament one as the example, because this is the one that we'll be working on for this second sprint. And let me also open it up because I already cloned them. Tournament. So I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna pretend like I'm cloning it right now. GI tournament front end. Open this one. Open this one. Okay. What's the other one? Gosh, I have so many tabs open. Close that. Okay. But before even I look at the code, and this is kind of where I was going with this, the first thing that I recommend is that you guys pull up the GitHub repos because this is where the readmes are going to be the clearest and easiest to read, right? So the first thing that I recommend is just familiarizing yourself with the readmes. I did my best to try to make them relatively simple because before they were a little bit more complex and I guess robust, and they didn't need to be. So I did my best to try to make them relatively simple. And so we can see here, for example, for the tournament front end here, it's using, we need to make sure we have Node.js and NPM installed, which everyone here does because we've been working with React. So you would CD into it, NPM install, and then this creates the env file. So this command cp.env.example.env. So there's this .env.example. We can see it right here. I'm just gonna move that right there. So cp is a copy command. Sorry, I'll make these bigger. And so what it does is it copies the contents of the .env.example and it puts it into a file called .env. So if you were to run this command, it's going to copy the contents here and it's going to place it in a new file called .env. Because the .env file is not something that gets pushed up. Every one of us has to create our own .env file, right? And the idea again of an env file is that this is the file that's going to contain all of the credentials that we think that should not be pushed up to GitHub. For example, this vite clerk publishable key is the only thing within this project right now that we don't want to push this up. So that's why we can see over here it's kind of like hidden credentials. And so this is what we're gonna get from Slack. So if we go over to Slack, which gosh, I have so many tabs. We need pool general. Right? So in Slack, if we go, we can see here's the env variables, right? So for example, for the front end, again, here's the env. And so if I didn't run that command, sorry, what I would have done after I cloned this project was I would have came here and I already have an env, but I would have done new file and created .env. I already have one, so I don't need to, but that's exactly what I would have done. And then from there, we can see my .env pretty much has exactly what we have here, right? And so this is the only environment variables that the front end needs. That's why. After we do that, going back to the README, going back to the what's it called? Yeah, the README, we can see the next step here is that to start the server, you do npm run dev. Right? So I'm gonna go back here, put this over here. Let me pull up my terminal. And so I already did npm install, but I'll do it again. And then after that, you would run npm run dev. Click enter. Cool. We can see there's my front end running. And I actually have another front end running right now. Let me turn that off. There we go. Let me restart it. All right, cool. It's on 5173. And then I would highly recommend going through this documentation, right? So it kind of explains how we're using Clerk, and you shouldn't create your own Clerk account. We're going to use the Clerk credentials that I shared in the env file. Kind of talks a little bit with how Clerk works because it's different than how we've been doing it, where we've been rolling our own auth. It gives a little bit of references. We can see um, the tech stack. So by the tech stack, what language and framework is this built with? It's built with React, uses Vite, Tailwind, uses Clerk for authentication, React Router, and then it uses this D&D kit for drag and drop. All right, so these are the different tech. This is the tech stack of the different technologies that build this application. And similar, if we go to the back end, we can see it's kind of similar thing, but this one uses Rails, so we're going to be more familiar with this one, right? CD into it, bundle install, do that same command to copy the env, get the actual env and paste it in, of course, and then you're going to set up the database. Rails db create, db migrate, db seed, start the server. From there, you can go ahead and create your own admin. So from there, you're going to go into Rails console and you can create passing in your own email. And then from there, you can go ahead and sign up and log in, all that kind of stuff. Um, and it kind of talks about how authentication works, again, the tech stack, etc. And so this is always the first place that I recommend that you guys look. After you guys have done that, then from there, it doesn't hurt to kind of just familiarize yourself with the application itself, right? So we can see here, here's the React application. I can go into app controllers, API, and here's all the different controllers here, right? So you can check out, for us, we're not using users necessarily, we're using admins. So this is kind of the equivalent to the users controller that we were doing in class. And then for the other side, we can see SRC, pages, here's the admin dashboard. And there's a decent amount going on, but it's nothing too crazy, right? And we can see here's the app.tsx, or this was the app.jsx for us, etc. And then from there, now we kind of like, this is just really roughly how I'd recommend you guys would get started. Just so that way it's not like you're just trying to start. It's not like because we're getting to a lot more complex applications, I suppose. It's not the simple APIs and front ends that we were using before. I don't think these aren't super complex. They're not like huge applications, but still it's getting a little bit on the more complex side. Um, yeah, I guess Kiko, do you have any questions about like that, about checking the README and stuff?
No, now I understand it fully, like how you had to message me earlier. Uh, I just was putting things in the wrong place, and now that I know uh
Yeah, yeah, no
where to put
worries.
them, kind of simple. I like that you do step by step, so you don't mess up really. But now that I know where everything kind of needs to be and where everything should go, I could get this one running on my own pretty easily.
Perfect, perfect. And I guess real quick then, I suppose it's kind of a little bit of a retro, but maybe we can do a real quick retro. So the idea of a retro, so everywhere that I've worked, and we don't need to really go into crazy detail with these things. Everywhere that I've worked, though, we do some sort of like sprint retro or sprint review. And so the basic idea is like we want to see how did this sprint go? What do you think we could improve, right? Where did we do good? Where did we do bad? Kind of thing. We could keep it simple, right? Because it's just us three right now. And so any feedback that you have, Kiko, on how this sprint went and maybe how we could maybe what went good and what went bad. Maybe like one thing each, if you could say anything.
Personally, I didn't read that thoroughly into the README sections. I definitely tried and failed to do it on my own, and uh, you make it kind of easy with the whole step by step, which is great. And then there's guides and resources that I did go back and look at that are still on Git and in on my files. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, now that I have everything kind of in a running manner and everything's kind of downloaded already, I think by next Tuesday I should have at least a better update for you guys. And I'm not going to touch anything or mess around with it. Like you said, just get familiar with what it looks like, what the functions are doing. I'll go look at the schema, understand what that's doing on both ends, and just try to understand, like you said, understand what what the language is telling me.
I like that. All right, cool. Well, I think, I don't think it's complete. I don't think it's your fault completely. We never, I don't even think in the class we ever really in detail went through READMEs and documentation and stuff. And so that's something that, I'll kind of take accountability for that, where even for me, I just put, or I don't want to say bad necessarily, but could do better, maybe. Maybe is a better way to phrase it. We
Like
could,
when I asked you like where do I put the EMV, and it was like I didn't know I had to create the file EMV. I remember doing it in regular session, but I totally forgot that. So when I messaged you, it was just I even messaged Ron to see if he got the same kind of error, and he
yeah.
said he wasn't even there yet. So now I kind of forwarded him your message. So
Hmm.
hopefully he got exactly what you said, because once I read that I was like, I get it now. Like,
Solid, solid,
yeah.
solid. Well, then I'm gonna say what good went documentation, and then bad or what could be better to me at least is like I wanna in next time, like maybe on day one or day two of our meetings, I want to try to give a little better explanation of the readmes and stuff like that. Readmes and how to get started. Because to me, even for me, like Kiko, and because I resonate with you in the sense that, when I first started on the job, it was really tough for me because I was really just kind of like and I was trying to be better, but I feel like I kind of did what I didn't want to do, where like what they did was they told me clone these repos and get them started, right? And like that's kind of all they told me. Um, and so I don't want you guys to be in that same boat where so next time my goal and when we start another application, because we will, I want to try to kind of better go through that with you guys so that way you guys feel a little more supported in that sense. Have a little bit more, and even if the documentation is good, it's like if you guys don't know about it, hey guys, how could you guys do it? And that's kind of that's the way I feel from it. And yeah, yeah,
And then trying to explain it to the bot is, or a bot, any bot, it kind of throws you off too. Because remember I asked you how do I bash it in? That was my interpretation that I got from asking AI.
got you, got you, got you.
Yeah. So it was telling me to bash that in instead of creating the file and doing it that way. That kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I put
Yeah.
it right there. I added that. I added a note here because I think that's good feedback. Careful using AI to explain the applications, I suppose. Yeah, there's times where
And
AI
this
like
AI,
um,
this DeepSeek that I use, it already kind of like expected something coding wise, because I don't ask it anything else. So even at that, it kind of threw me off, and I was just like, well, what the hell? It should already know that I'm doing this, and this. So it kind of did throw me off a little bit. But now that I got a better explanation, like I always try to solve things before I hit you guys up. Like I put that in a message to Ron, like I'm gonna try a few more things before I even ask you. So that's my way of kind of like the trial and error and learning through failure kind of thing. Um, it's my way around it. So
yeah. And so I'm gonna make a note here. I use Cursor. I enjoy using Cursor, and I've showed you guys that a little bit. But Cursor to do it to get good, like to use it properly, I feel like it's like you kind of need to pay because you can't use the right. To me, it's like you can't use a good model if you don't. But I know that there are tools out there that provide you that allow us that like provide help and stuff like that. So I'm gonna look into it this weekend on what free AI tools I could kind of recommend to you guys and try out myself, so that way you guys can help learn. Because I really think I think DeepSeek, like the chat feature that you've been using it, or like Chat GPT, whatever, I think those tools are great. But to me, I really like a tool that has access to the code so that way you can read it. And then it has the context to it. And to me, that makes a big difference. And so I want to look into that as well. But I'll just put that here. Solid. Lana, do you have any good, bad stuff? Maybe some good stuff because we've just been putting bad. I'm just kidding. Whatever.
Um, I guess not with the internship because I didn't really like I'm not really doing what you guys are doing, But then I guess okay, so good would be uh an update for the chatbot. I made the markdown files. Um, but I'm just getting I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the chunking because um what's it called? I was doing the chunking not like how we did it before by like H1s, H2s.
Hmm.
Um Testing out to do it by like characters. Um and to see which one's better. So yeah, that's the process that I'm on right now because I've added more of the markdown file. So I'm like, okay, there's more data to work with. Um, and what's it called? But I have to test it outside of this room because the connection is bad in this room. So it's like, okay, I have to go out there.
Are you just using the Word documents that I gave you, or are you like changing them in any way or like converting them to any other file types or like how
Oh
are
no,
you?
no. I took the Word documents and I what how I did it was like I copied and pasted it into like a text file.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went through Cursor and I was like, hey, can you change this to be markdown files?
Okay, okay,
And
okay,
so
cool.
I converted it, yeah. And I gave it the text files. So I was like, okay, okay, this is like how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I was actually because based on what you were what like the reason I asked was because I was just like I was looking up stuff like what could I what could we use to convert Markdown? But yeah, those files are small, so you could definitely just use cursor to change that. All right,
Yeah,
cool. Well, that's great progress.
yeah, that's just let's
I
see,
like
let's
that. I like
see
that.
which one I use.
All right. So I guess to kind of retrospectively look at this past sprint, I think making progress. But to me, my thing to me is just I want to plan better to like on how to get ready, how to get started first, because this is you guys' first for a lot of the the interns, their first time kind of dealing with like a larger code base and stuff that's really like new to you guys. And so I want to do that better. But I think a lot of progress. Kiko got it up and running. You got it up and running, right? I think that's
It's kind of intimidating. I don't want to ruin the like I've done stuff where I don't know if you guys know the Denancy brand, Lenny and Pika's Denancy.
okay.
So I did a website off of Wix one time and I don't know who played with it. I sure as heck didn't. But I had one of my friends like set it up, do it all nice and do the e-commerce. And I never touched it, never touched any of the styling, the code, the positioning, nothing, wording. And I guess someone touched it and everyone kind of freaked, right? And
Mhm.
like ever since then, like even running with this, like I'm not gonna do much until I have the step by step, like the debugging processes and all of that, because I don't want to have you go on and be like, dude, it's not working, and it's something I had touched, But that's what testing's for, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that I want you to I hopefully to help you feel a little better about this is everything that you do locally is only done locally, right? So if you
So that's
so
good.
as long
Okay.
as you're not doing git push, you're completely safe to do almost
Whatever.
anything, right? Because in the
Okay.
worst case scenario to me is you're gonna come here and you're gonna delete the repository and you're gonna restart from scratch because you
I'm
corrupted that file, that folder.
I'm getting good at that already, kind of the RMRF.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good thing.
So
It's a good thing to know.
I mean, recloning is not the problem. I guess it would be, like I said, just having the balls to just go and mess around with stuff without feeling like I would mess it up. But now that you
Yeah.
told me go ahead and
No, go ahead.
try,
Go ahead. As
I'll
long as you're
definitely
not
try.
pushing it up. And if you want to be extra safe, I'm gonna recommend that you branch off, right? So if, remember, we're on the main branch. We never want to do it
Yeah,
on the main branch. You're gonna go git checkout dash B and then Kiko test branch, whatever you want to call it. And so now if I do a git status, you're gonna see I'm not on the main branch anymore. I'm on Kiko.
okay, dash B, check out dash B.
Yep, so
Let me
git
write that down.
checkout dash B and then the name of the branch you want. So now I can do whatever I want in here and even push it up. And no, I know for sure I won't break anything because this is
Okay, just
this
as long as I don't push it right away, like
yeah,
just
don't
just
push
let
it.
it hang.
I'd
Okay.
say checking out your own brand should be ideal.
Okay. Now I know how to do that. Solid.
Yeah. Solid. I like that. All right. Well, I guess I don't want to keep you guys too long. And so the last thing I kind of quickly wanted to touch on is I'm gonna go through with Lana on the tickets that I want you guys to get done, and I'm gonna work with her on that. And Tuesday we will share the tickets with you guys on what you guys will be working on for that next sprint. And it's gonna be nothing crazy. I don't want anyone to feel worried or anything like that. And we'll walk you through and stuff like that. And then from there, it's going to be up to you guys to figure it out, but in a good way. Not going to be like, we're not going to be out to figure it like by yourself. We'll be here to help. And then we'll be working on the airport tournament. So we won't be doing the Hoffa GPT one yet. I think working on the tournament one is a good place to start because it's a tech stack that you guys know. It's React and Rails. After we guys do
Do you
this,
know
go ahead.
do you know anyone at the language commission?
I do not. I do not know.
Okay, I'll reach out to them just to like for the Hoffa GPT stuff.
Yeah.
They're like they can like give you the double thumbs up on all the like pretty much our dictionary and our responses
Oh,
and
for
everything.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So I have a friend there and she does her she knows how to code a bit and whatever. She what last Christmas she made her son a video game for Christmas, which was
Oh, that's
cool.
sick. That's actually so
Uh,
sick.
but she does their website and stuff, so I'll ask her straight up like, hey, how can we straight up rip your whole dictionary and rip your whole, because remember they have pronunciation already. They have probably like 1,000 audio files ready to go.
That to me is the hardest thing, pronunciation.
So so they have, I know they have the recordings because it's on their Instagram. Like they do a word a day, right? Or a phrase a
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
So we can ask them just, hey, can we have all of that?
yeah.
Like, I mean,
If they're down to
what,
share
where,
and we'll collaborate in some way, I'd love it.
well, I'll hit her up and I'll show it to her. But it came across my table the other day. I was like, man, I know someone that works down there. So it's like if we're gonna get the GPT the way, because you were talking about how it sounds too computerized, right?
Yeah, I've been working. Yeah, yeah, I've been working on making
So
it better.
imagine if we got all their audio files already and we just work off their glossary or their, you know what I mean?
That would be amazing. I would actually really love that, honestly.
I'll check in with her and see what she says, but I think that's like a 60 to 75% like thumbs up already, kind of,
I
because they
like
want
that.
their that's what their office is for. They're meant to like like really encourage us to do more stuff like this, to be honest, dude.
I got you. I like that. Well, that's exactly what I want.
But yeah,
Well, Nico,
I'll
let me
get
know.
the I'll get the GIA going and then on Tuesday I'll have a good update for you guys.
I like that.
A
All right.
positive one. Yeah.
Good, good, good.
All right.
I like it.
I'll see you guys later. Hey, I did read your email. I'll get back to you on that. But if you can email me back just whatever total I have left so I can try to take care of it one shot.
I got you. I got you. I'll yeah, I'll
Okay.
email you. I'll email you today or tomorrow, one or the
All
other.
right.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye,
Nico.
Lana. Have a good night, guys. Shoot.